Excuse me. Not a great way to open. Hey, welcome everybody. It is 10 a.m. and time to get started on Unhindered by Coding. I guess I could put that in slideshow mode. That would look a little bit nicer. So it's been a week. I was gone last Tuesday. Was helping move our child into grad school at University of Wisconsin-Madison in library science. And so was busy doing that. So on Tuesday, I was carrying boxes and assembling furniture. That was fun. But that's all done, and they're all settled and back home. And we'll be doing another episode of Unhindered by Coding, continuing the work on using Rust and U to build a web app to archive GitHub repositories. We made a lot of progress last Saturday on error handling. So we basically took the code that was processing the response from the GitHub request and added a lot of error handling to that. So before we just had a bunch of unwraps and expects on all the places where there could have been trouble, which actually not even really the full processing of the response. It was because we're still not handling errors from the HTTP request itself, I don't think. We'll look in a second, but I think all we're doing is handling the parsing of the response. So we're assuming we got a response, and then there are a lot of ways the parsing of the response could be broken. And those were all just unwraps and expects, and we changed that so that we're actually returning result type, actually result containing an option. And we got most of that done, but then right at the end, we tried to then push that signature out to the code that called that. We tried doing that really quickly, and that was just a mess, and that was not good. We might have gotten it kind of to work, but it wasn't pretty, and I want to completely unwrap that and do it again. And I think we're going to want to have like a match or something similar, because I think we want to check, like, there are several possible responses, and I think we want to see, well, if we get this response, what are we going to want to do? If we get this response, what are we going to want to do? I think we want some sort of match to handle that issue. And then there's also a problem where it doesn't actually compile at the moment, because there's I think an ownership issue, which I think will be easy to fix. I think we just have to clone something. But we're going to have to deal with that too. So we'll deal with the simple error. We'll try to get the error handling propagated through. And then once and if we get all that done, we'll go back to pagination, which drove all this, and make sure we get our buttons with the right actions attached to them so that we do move through the pages properly. So that's the goal. And we'll see how far we can get between now and 12 o'clock. So let's see. Let's find our code and see where we left off. Oh, somehow I got a character here that doesn't belong. That's why that's not compiling. So the compiler error is right here. So the problem is we borrow last URL here when we call query pairs, and then we pass that in here, so it gets moved here. but then we need it indirectly. I have this right? I think that we need it here. What is this? Oops. So I feel like, what did I decide? I think because we borrowed it here and we pass it here, that combination is the problem. And I'm not, to be fair, I'm not entirely sure I understand exactly why that's an issue. I'm going to get in principle that that's a problem, but I don't know that I would have seen it as a problem if the compiler had not said something. And I think one of the things that, I'm hoping to do is reach a point where I can, hi Wgaffa, wonderful to see you here, is to be able to see things like this before the compiler yells at them. But yeah, it's not happy because of the use of last URL here, and then the passing in. And I think we can fix this. I haven't tried it yet, but I think if I just clone that. Oh, actually, no, there was something else here. I realized that I also actually just passed the wrong thing here. So last URL suggests, no, why did I think I passed the wrong thing? So the last URL is what we get by parsing, and I think, did I want the URL or did I want the string? Not 100% sure. I mean, for error messaging, I sort of feel like the string might actually be the more useful thing. I don't know. We'll go ahead and leave it as URL, and I think that fixes the compiler problem here. And now I think we're going to have where we call down. See where we were call. This is parse last page, and where we call parse last page, we just hacked pretty terribly. Yeah, this was just a mess. Everybody was just guessing stuff, and it was technically overtime, and so there wasn't really a lot of thought. And we want to try to do a little better there. Oh, I realize there's a comment up here. I should probably, this bit about the line failing, I should take that out because that's not true anymore. And so then 3. Where was it? Oh yeah, right here. So this is just a mess, and we do not want this mess. So I think that instead of trying to put this right in this repository paginator state, I think we want to actually have some kind of match here that takes that the result of where is it? Okay, here. No, where was it? Oh, right here, parse last page. So I think we want to do some kind of match on the result, and figure out what we're going to do if there's an error, what we're going to do if there's a result with a none element, and what we're going to do if there's a result with a sum variant. And I think that will make this make a lot more sense. So I think I'm going to do this. And let me tell the computer not to make those noises anymore, because there might be more of them before we're done. Sorry about that. So here we get the headers, and now I think we want to let last page, we'll just call it that for now. Parse last page link. Except link is an option. So we actually have an error handling issue here in that link is an option, which I think I've just been dealing with as an unwrap somewhere. And that's probably not great. What are we in? We're in a component. So I can't throw an error from a component in U. I'm pretty sure that's a true statement. Although it might stop being a true statement. So, is that true? Actually, I'm not sure. I feel like I looked this up a little bit, and I came to the conclusion that this was not something I could do at the moment, if at all. For a second there, I thought this was something I saw they were going to change, but actually now I'm not convinced that's true. And it sort of makes sense. Like, what is a component? What would it mean for a component to return an error type? We need it to return an HTML. That's the signature. And they don't support returning something else. So we can't return error types here. We have to handle the error in the component. So if link is none, so that's a good question. So if we don't get a link field in the response, that's because there are not multiple pages in the response. So the request that we've made, everything fits on a single page. So the in our case, the number of repositories is less than or equal to the value of the per page field, which defaults to 30, can be as high as 100. I've currently got it set at 5 just because it guarantees that I see a lot of pages. So the only way that should be, assuming that GitHub doesn't mess something up, the only way that should be a problem is if there aren't multiple pages. Then we would not get a link field. So we want last page to be 1 in that instance. Otherwise, we want it to be something else. So I guess we could make this a match. I don't think this is going to be the best option yet. But that's the right syntax. Colon? No, it's fat arrow. Fat arrow. Then I want that to be 1. Otherwise, if there's some, then I have link. Oh, hey, esitsu. Wonderful to see you again. The gang's all here. That is awesome. We're dealing with the place where we get back that complicated result option thing, and I'm like going through and trying to figure out like how to properly parse that. We had that big mess where we like transposing and just banging around, and I want to actually sort of think through what the cases are and what we want to do with those cases. So if there is no link, then the last page is 1, because that means there aren't any pages, or there's really only one page, and so it doesn't return any pagination. If there is a link, then we're going to have to parse that, and this, this is going to be ugly because really, in some ways, I want another match here on the result of parsing the last page. And I don't want a match inside of a match. That's going to be gross. So maybe I do want to map parse last page across this link, and then I will get down here to set that to an unwrap or. Well, I think that could be true. Problem is, like, there are these error conditions that we get here, and I want to like look at them and decide what to, like, we bothered creating this result type. I want to look at the possible conditions and turn those into hopefully useful error messages. And if we just kind of squidge everything together with a bunch of unwraps, we are hiding at least the error conditions. Now, your unwrap or might be a good way to deal with the case where we don't have a last and we want to just use one. Current page. That I think could be a useful thing. But I think I still want to like walk through, this is like hiding all the errors, and we went to all this trouble to build this error management stuff, and I'd like to do something with it. So I think actually if I map, I'm going to just parse last page across link dot parse last page semicolon. Now what is that? So that then is a function? Oh, because parse last page doesn't, that returns an iterator. No, it doesn't. It returns an option. Why is this type doesn't make any sense to me? We have a function. Okay, hang on. So link is an option string. Parse last page takes a stir pointer and returns a result. So if we map that across, we should get an option of the result type. So we'd have an option of a result of an option. Wow. That would be gross. Oh, the deref. So remind me, why did that do something? Oh yeah, that looks better. Option, result, option. So what did the deref do for us here? It took an option string and made it an option stir pointer, stir slice. So it derefed the string into a string slice. And then parse last page takes a string slice. Okay, so that sort of this as deref causes the types to match up better. So now we've got this charming so I'll call this last page parse result. And now this we, in theory, ought to be able to match a whole bunch of options. Now, why are you yelling? Oh, you're just yelling because we haven't done all of them. Okay, so we're going to have none. And if we get a none back here, that means we had a none. Oh, I guess we need to turn this into something. So let last page. So if we got nothing back, the last page was 1. If we got some, and now last page is a result option, so we could get sum of none. Wow. So if we get sum of none, none happens because there was no last in the, there was no last field in the link entry, which means we were on the last page already. So we want current page. And if we have some last page, then that would be, last page. Yeah. And then if we have some error, then we have to do something here, which could for the moment just be, oh, you're right, it's okay. So this is supposed to be okay. That's why it was fussing at me. Thank you. Yeah, I'm terrible about that. So if we have some okay, then that's last page. If we have some error, then what do we want to do with this error? I feel like that's almost its own function, because this is getting kind of long and unwieldy. For the moment, so are you suggesting that this one's supposed to be some okay none? Oh no, actually, hang on. So this is a come on, here, give me the type. Hello. This is an option. Oh, I guess because, so if I just pan it quick, then we'll get types again. So this is an option result option usize. So we would want a sum for the option. We want a result, an OK for the result. Oh, you're right. So there is going to need to be an OK none here. Yes, good catch. And this is going to be a sum here. Wow. I just do not feel like this is the best way to have done this. And then this would be an error. So the result type right here could be OK or error. And if it's an error, then it'll have some error type. And we could panic and pass that error along. Except it isn't happy. Oh, I'm missing a semicolon, that's all. Now panic. Oh, it needs a format string. Really? So I can't just pass an error. That's interesting. Well, we'll just do that for now. Does that work? No. Oh, because link parser doesn't implement display. Well, can I just do that? Because I think we did do debug. Stop it. There we go. Okay. So now everything compiles. And then this would just become last page. We would take all this stuffity stuff out. And so that in theory compiles. Does it run? Oh, so let me make sure we're all compiled up here. Yeah, we are. Good. Okay. Oops. And let's window, no developer, JavaScript console. Okay. And if I go to another page, now we're still only ever getting the first page, and that's a logic problem somewhere else. But we're at least appear to be handling the parsing correctly, I think. Yeah. So we're still getting 11. This was turning into 1 before. So we seem to always have the right last page value. So I think it works. Now that is never a reason to be happy, but I think it works. So now, Wgaffa, you said that you would have done it differently. Do you have thoughts on what differently might have looked like? I mean, I sort of feel like with this option result option that there are too many layers here to, like, this becomes very unreadable. Because we've got, I mean, things like some, okay, none. I can totally copy this. Although I have an account on anything like Pastebin? That's a great question, but I think the answer is probably no. Do you need an account? Maybe not. Zippity-doo-dah. oh, there's also paste.rs.web. Paste.rs/web. What is that? Ooh, look at that. Okay. So let me think. Do you want just this, or do you want the code in last page parse result? Let me give you at least this and this. We'll give you the body of the. You can figure out where to go from there. Paste, and then this presumably will work. Boom. Chat. Waha. Yeah. So there we go. So I feel like, in general, when there are too many layers, at least in my pre-Rust life, my response to that would be to create functions somewhere. Probably because I've got the different indents levels. I suspect that, yeah, sorry. That when I've got layers like this, functions would be the standard way out, that you would have a function at each of the layers that would handle that layer and not have to look deeper. We could do that. I mean, a question. I mean, are we okay with last page result? Parse last page, returning this option result option. Well, I guess parse last page just returns a result option. And are we okay with that, or is the problem at some level there? I kind of feel like it's not. I sort of feel like the problem it's about how we handle it here. So I wonder if we did something instead, like let last page be like extract last page from last page parse result, and we made that a function right in here. What do I call it? Extract last page takes a last page. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to actually type that crazy type in. So that's gonna be an parse result, which is gonna be an option of a result of an option of a usize and a parse. no, what's my error type? Link parse error. Boom. And we're going to get a usize out of that. Then now match parse result, and if we have none, we'll return 1. If we have some, but now I need the whole thing. I was hoping to, well, I mean, I guess at least this is going to make it a little more reasonable. So you're voting for, oh, I removed it. Sorry, I should have commented out so we could come back to it more easily. So you're voting for actually having the map, transpose, etc. Do we think that's more readable? I mean, not that this is terribly readable, but maybe it is. Maybe if we can do the pieces and indicate what each step is doing, that might be more sensible. So your idea here is to and we would even probably just go ahead and grab all of this stuff and have it all be part of this. So this would be like link, and link is take the original option link as an input. Yeah. So this would be option. So this is actually the link component, which is an option string. And then just want to make sure I don't want a symbol on. Yeah, okay, so that all compiles. And then, well, actually, do I need to pass it the current page, or can it get that? Yeah, no, I probably do want to pass the current page, don't I? So yes, I think you're right. I think that makes sense. Oh, here we are. Current page, and then that would add current page usize. Okay. And so then, and then we can use the current page in your idea of or unwrap or something up here. Okay, so we're gonna have our link component, and we're going to say as dref, and I'm going to dot map parse last page. So this converts from option string to, oh, well, actually, now that I've got the type annotations here, that kind of tells me things. Thanks to the joys of a good IDE. Yeah, I thought about nested matches. And that would potentially improve the situation some, but I don't know. I'm not convinced. Okay, so here we have option result, option usize. And before, I think at this point, we had an unwrap to get rid of that outer option. Or did we have the transpose here? Hang on. We can use we had transpose after map. Transpose and flatten. So transpose. So, okay, what exactly does that do for us? It turns option result into result option. Transposes an option of a result into a result of an option. None will become okay none. Some okay and some error will be turned into okay some and error. Interesting. Okay. Buy that. And then flatten gets rid of the option. Flatten. Right? Except. Hello. Why do you tell me things? No. Does not like that. Oh, that's where the unwrap happened. Okay, so flatten only gets rid of one layer of option, not multiple layers of option. Yeah. So now, but if this returns result, oh, but I guess it could be just result that will so it'd be the sum, no, the okay variant with the value, or the error variant, instead of result option. We can just, but actually, so thinking about it, no, that makes sense, because there always will be, when we're in this function, oh, maybe, okay, here, I think we can simplify this. Part of the reason, so if we back up to our, if we back up to here, the reason we had an option here is because there might not be a last element in parse last page. So we wanted to be able to say, hey, there wasn't one. And that's why we have the option. If I do what you suggested down here and pass the current size in to this function, we can get rid of this option. There will always be a usize, because it will either be the one we got in the response, or it will be the one we passed in. That allows us to eliminate this option, and the thing we return from here as a result that is either an actual last page value or something bad happened. And that gets rid of a whole layer of goofiness, which is part of what your suggestion here was doing for us. I think we're just doing it later. By putting it here, we're doing it later than we probably wanted to. And if we do it up here, we can return a much simpler element. And I think then we can avoid a lot of the transpose, flatten stuff that we end up looking at down below. And then I think the match, well, so that's a fair point. Because there is the, every function should do exactly one thing. But so maybe you're right. Maybe what this function down here does, instead of getting us all the way to usize, it converts us from an option result, a result option to just a result usize. Maybe that's all this does, is get us from result option to result usize. And then we can match down below and yeah, I think maybe that's the thing to do. Maybe now this is a bad name. This becomes a bad name. And if we I feel like I don't want all this try extract. Good question. Don't know what that is. Rust try extract. Oh, you were suggesting that as a name. I get it. I'm actually slow. Yeah. So we can do that. So I'd be kind of inclined to maybe get to here and say let parse result equal that stuff. And then I'd actually, I think, be inclined to say match parse result and here I think, because what I'm really looking for, so I want to return a result usize link parse error. That's what I'm after. And if this is an option, it's because that was an option. Oh. So you're suggesting instead of matching explicitly, transpose, pose, and now we can have a question mark because we're returning a result type, flatten. Actually, hang on, something's, oh, I think if I, so transpose, so we're now we have an option usize. Really? How do we get that far down? And then unwrap or current page. And it's not happy because, because I did a let. And then we would return parse result. So we want to get rid of the let probably, but wrong type. Oh, this just got us all the way down to a usize. We lost the result part. So we'd actually have to say, okay, parse result. Yeah, okay. Okay, so let me think this through. So link component is an option string because there might not have been a link component. I mean, another possibility is to actually handle the optionness here somewhere earlier, because if there is no link component, that's really a different kind of thing. And I sort of feel like it would be worth, well, I feel like it gets handled, sorry for the scrolling, in a weird place here, and that I almost wish this just got past the string for the instance where there was one. But then I find out that there's not a last page earlier than I can do anything with that fact. And that seems kind of gross. Oh, that's true. I could do... Actually, can't I do the unwrap or right here? Because if there's not... No. So what does unwrap or do for me? Returns that contains some value or a provided default. No, because then it wouldn't be in a string. It'd have to be its own separate step. But I could do that, right? I could say match link component. I could do something let link stir match link component none return current page. Oh, I guess it would be okay. Current page some link stir. And then I will have dealt with that issue and all of the rest of this. I could even put the deref here. Or not. is it unhappy? As dref. Not found for string. Hello? Oh, as dref is, yeah, that goes through the option. So that, no. Is it just ampersand? There. Oh, no, that didn't give me. So maybe I just leave this alone. And now all of this stuff, we start with the map. Link. Oh, we don't even need the map. It's actually parse last page. Link stir. And that takes, actually, we get a result option usize out of that. And now we don't need any of the transpose flatten. We just need to return that. And we're done. All right? Except no. Oh, that's because I'm still wrapping it in stuff and I don't need to. So really, I don't even need to have a let here. Wah, wah, wah. Boom. Get rid of that. I'm not happy. Mismatch types. So there's an option somewhere. Oh, that's because this still returns an option. But we've handled the possibility of there not being a link component. So, okay, let me catch up on the notes. So you're suggesting calling as dref outside, like here outside? But I'm not going to have an option anymore. And then there's a use a question mark dot unwrap or. I assume, sorry, that's not this. No, that doesn't make sense. And the unwrap or really has been handled right here. Oh, maybe you mean that to be a replacement for the match. Extract last. Oh, I see. Say yeah. So do the dref. So this is an option slice instead of an option string. So you would say link dot as dref here, and then this becomes a slice like that. Yeah, and now this is a slice, and that's nice. And parse last page takes a slice. Good. Did I go too far? I did. Here we go. So that's sort of nice. Although, is that necessary? Did it sort of just do the right thing somewhere? I'm not sure. But why are we unhappy here? So we've got a result option when we wanted a... So parse last page should... So now... So the problem is that this returns a result option, and we want... So this is where we need to convert the result option into just the result usize. What? So this link component... So that would be if there was no link. So we just want to return the current page. Does this mean this... Do I not need... No, I do still need... Yeah, because okay, I think that I've got myself confused. Well, that's a surprise. Seems to be the story of today. There are two different issues, option issues. One is there was no link entry at all, in which case current page really should just be, our last page should really just be 1. And the other is there is a link entry, but there is no last element in the link entry, in which case last page needs to be current page. Hello, Wgaffa. Glad to have you back. We have been flailing through the universe in varying ways. So let me actually walk through this a little carefully, because I think I'm getting myself confused about the different sets of possible options. So if there is, so right here, there is either a link entry or there isn't. If there is no link entry, then we want to have the last page be 1. That's a thing we know at this point. Now, if I was writing, if I was writing in something other than Rust, I would say something like last page, let's see, I would like something like this, and if let some none equals link last page equals 1. I guess I don't really need a... Maybe that really just should... I don't know. I mean, I would do something like that. And then I would assign last page some other value later on after I've like extracted all the other stuff. So link parse error is a URL parse error. So that would be if we called URL parse to parse the URL and something failed there. Page entry missing error, and that was if there was no, actually, why does that happen? Right here. Yeah, so there just isn't a page entry in the URL, and we figure that's their problem, not ours, but we're still reporting it. And then a page num parse error is if we try to parse the value and we get a parse error comes out of that, which again is probably GitHub's problem, but we want to like capture it and do something with it, presumably. So those are the three things there. And so this is, I feel like this is kind of what I want to do. But that's clearly not a very Rust thing to do. So let me look at what happens after this. So we parse link and we turn it into a last page. Oh, maybe, what if we did this? What if we did let last page equal match, and we just have none, and that's 1. Otherwise, some link stir, and then we have extract last page of link.asDref current page. Boom, bop. That really should go there. And then all of this goes away. Oh, sorry. I need to say what I'm matching on. It's like, I don't know what you're matching on. Okay. And now this is being handled sort of in one place. And now this gets to deal with the other option. Okay, so let's see. You could let match on link as dref. Oh. Sure. Because the as dref will still give me a none. And then this just gets that. Okay. Okay, let's grab that. Ooh. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so let me walk through this. So we've got our option string. We deref it. Now we have an option stir slice. We say okay or, and then we put some, so that this is, so this, I think this is the part that I was getting, because I had I thought of doing something like this, but then I got lost here because I feel like don't I need a parsable link entry here? And if I do, I don't want to have to build something like that. That seems... oh, is this okay or... Is that just an error? That the okay or takes an error? Rust, okay, or... okay, or... Ah... So that takes an error. So we could put, come here. We could put the right error in here, and then put one in. Although, yeah, the string one's not going to work here because, yeah, okay. So this is the problem, is that this parse last page needs one of these full, yeah, exactly, esitsu. It would need to be like a full link entry that contains the current page. And I don't really want to build like a fake link entry just to like make parse last page happy here. That's, yeah, I like that idea, and I thought about something kind of like that, but I don't think I've said anything out loud, but I got lost in the, I'd have to construct a link entry, and I don't really want to do that. I mean, it wouldn't be hard, but it doesn't feel like that wins in the making things more or less confusing stakes. But yeah, no, I think that I appreciate that. That I think was very interesting. So here, okay, I think I'm liking this because now we've separated this layer of some none business out, and this could be replaced with an or else or something like that, right? Instead of an explicit match. So I think we could come back to this and replace this with something else. But look, I want to figure out why this is not work. Oh, it's try extract. Oh, no. Oh, so it'd be try extract on extract last page, maybe. But maybe extract last page. Oh, parse last page. Maybe parse last page gets simpler because I remove this. No, I don't. This is still taking a stir. So this would have to be parse last page from try. This would be something like try extract from parse last page on that. Something like that. And now Ooh, oh, I've got too many open prints here. And now it's shouting about many things. What is it? Oh, try extract calls parse last page. Oh yeah, you're right. Good grief. So we really just want that. I obviously need a nap. Okay. So now we've got issues here. Oh, and this wants to be a U size. So this would be, we're going to have to do something about that. But let's deal with, yeah, you're right. So have I actually made anything better? Because if this returns a result, then I feel like I've just pushed the problem to another part of the rug. Although I could do the nested match here, but is that going to be any prettier? So, it'll be something like match that. And now we have, okay, last page, and panic, bad. And then we'd have to put the error handling somewhere in there in a sensible fashion. Oh, and now this would just become a stir because I've just dealt with that up above. Oh, actually, then really all this does... No. Oh, so I was confusing things here. This really never should have been current page. That would have been 1. And we don't have the current page part sorted out yet. So that's really got to have to be some action coming from this. So really this is now irrelevant. And we're going to parse the last page here. And then if here we, I think, can say, oh no, we have to, or else, no, that's not going to be the right thing, or... So I want to say that if the inner thing is a none, Then I want to return current page. So you're suggesting, okay, parse. Oh, okay, hang on. So you're actually getting rid of that. Parse last page link stir question mark dot unwrap. So this is the unwrap or with the current page. Oh, it's okay with a little k. Who? No. Oh, this should be link stir now. Okay, liked that. Now, do I understand what's happening here? So, I'm gonna bring this back. Let parse result be that, because I want to be able to see what the pieces are. So, bar. Can I do that? Give me a type. No. So okay, let me back up. The last page in terms of result option. The question mark says if there's an error, we'll just go ahead and throw that error. So that gives us the option piece, and we unwrap that option or default to the current page. So this is actually a U size, and we return that. I get it. So the question mark basically gets rid of the result piece, and then that gets us into the option, and then the unwrap or gets rid of the option. We put it back in an OK, and we send it. Woof. Or we could match parse last page link stir. We could, but actually I like this unwrap or, and you've been very patiently suggesting unwrap or current page for a long time, and I like that idea, and I think it works nicely here. I think that's actually really good. I just was having trouble figuring out. I think I didn't appreciate that the question mark was actually getting rid of the result part. That after the question mark, the result was gone, and we were down to the option part. So that actually, I think, makes perfect sense. I like that. And then, so everything compiles, I think. We all compiling here. Yeah. Let's make sure we still work. Boom. Boom. Last page is 11. Last page is 11. That's good. I think we're doing happy things. Whew. Okay. So I think that all makes sense. Now, and then all of this goes away. This all goes away. I'm going to leave the comment about context because I still think that might be a thing. Okay, so we're still not dealing with this error. I'm actually going to commit quick because I think we've actually made some pretty significant changes that have helped things. Okay, so actually I should have committed this on its own anyway. Clone the last URL variable. So to avoid an ownership problem, when creating the link parse error. Boom. Okay. Then so now this handles this. Wow, I felt like we changed more. We did a lot of typing, and in the end probably deleted more typing than I kept. So I thought, didn't we change? No, we didn't. We didn't change anything up here. I was thinking for a second we did, but that's not true. Okay, so I think we're good there. Add, or let's say improve the error pattern matching on the last page parsing. Handling the last page parsing got really complicated, and adding a small helper function, try extract, to convert from result option to result usize helped clean that up some. Boom. Okay. Now we have to do something about this. And I feel like this is actually probably another place where a function would be useful. So like, I think if we called handle parse error err, and then we made a function handle parse error, and it's going to take link parse error, now that's not happy. So is this a place where I have to like return bang? Is it bang? To sort of say this never returns something? Oh, look at that. No, not look at that. What is that syntax? Rust function that never returns. Oh yeah, it is exclamation mark. No, maybe not. Infinite loop. So it's a. Oh, so you think it's just that I'm not panicking yet. So if I say panic bad. Aha! Okay. So we just have to make sure that we never actually return. But is that what I want? Because if I panic, I think I kill the app. And I probably don't really want to panic. What if so? So I'm not sure if I'm in because I'm in Java land here or JavaScript land, WASM land. If I fail here, will it wipe out the app, or is there a way I can just say print some stuff but keep going? Because I'm also in this local, I'm in this future, so I could just have this future end, but not. So I mean, let me look. Okay, so who defines? So spawn local is in WASM bin futures. WASM bin futures. Spawn local. Turns a Rust future on the current thread. Oh, the function has the same panic behavior as future to promise. Well, let's go find out what that is. Panics. In WASM, panics are currently translated to aborts, but aborts in this case mean that a JavaScript exception is thrown. The WASM module is still usable after Rust panics, but likely erroneously. If the future provided panics, then the return promise will not resolve. Instead, it will be a leaked promise. That doesn't look good. So the problem is with returning is what would we return? I mean, this whole future is about setting up the current repository paginator state. And if we get an error here, that state is not well defined. In particular, there isn't any clear last page. And so I feel like, this is one of the things where you would say, hey, something bad happened, you should try again, which I realize is a terrible thing to tell the user, but I think, I don't know, I don't have a better option. And so what I really would like to have happen here is some kind of alert, probably saying, hey, there was a bad thing, you should try again. And maybe then maybe we set the organization back to the empty string. Well, but they might want to have it. But maybe we set the repositories back to the empty array. So maybe we just go back to the default initial setting. Yeah. So print parse error, set state error, return. Maybe that's the right thing to do. And so maybe this does actually return so this could just return 0 as the last page. So we could have this return a usize. And it's like, you'll never get there, because we aren't going to get there yet. I mean, it's ugly having this 0 here. So, okay, that's an interesting question. And maybe I've been trying to push the functional component thing too hard, and this would be a place where a struct component would have made more sense, because, I mean, if we look at this component, it goes from line 261 to 361, so this is a 100 line component, and maybe there is an argument that this is, that let should be gone. Can I grab that easily? And amend the previous comment. That maybe this as a struct component would make more sense, because this is, I think that, and this is, I am not super familiar, so I may be completely making stuff up, but I do think that function components are meant to be, in some sense, simple, and a 100-page component with 4 helper functions inside of it is not arguably simple. So maybe you're right. Maybe that doing this as a structural component, a struct component, would be more sensible than the nonsense that I'm doing now. At 11:38, I don't think I'm going to rewrite the world for that. So I think actually I'm going to go with your print parse error, set state error, and I'll just return 0 for now. But maybe it's worth making a comment up here. This component has gotten really long. At a minimum, it should be moved into its own file. It's also possible that it should be converted into a struct component to help avoid some of the function call return issues in the error handling. So let's see. So you're suggesting return in the spawn local so that it ends instead of returning 0. Oh. So like here, have this something like that, and then do I need to put curly braces around that to make a block out of it? Oh. Yes. Nice. Oh, I like that. And then this can go back to being here. Oh, that was a nice move. I like that. Why are you grumping? Oh, that's because I've got a panic still here. I won't have a panic. So in fact, I can. Oh no. Oh, but I am gonna. Yeah. So we'll do a console error thing. And so really, I think what I want is. So I do want a console error, and that's web sys console log 1 format bang. There was an error parsing the link field in the HTTP response. Undo. Undo. Come on. Here we go. Error. Now we're all shouty because that returns a unit type. Oh yeah, so I guess I just don't even need, because I'm not gonna panic, so I'm not gonna not return something. Oh, I need to do an into. Yeah. So, oh, there's an error one. That would be even better. Good check. Good catch. And then I presumably can do like web sys alert. No. Rust web sys alert. No. There's all kinds of stuff. Alert. There you go. Window alert. Alert with message. Takes a message and returns a result, which I don't really care about. I don't suspect. Because I don't really care what they said. Alert with message on the window. Yes, exactly. So, web sys window, alert with message, and message. Oh, whoa, hang on. So I need to get the current window somehow, actually, and then call. Really? Nope. Oh, web sys window unwrap. Oh, and that gives me a window, and now I can send in a message. Whew. So now here I can say there was an error contacting the GitHub server. Please try again. Boom. And why is it yellow? Oh. Result, it's not happy because we got a result back. And so, I don't know, we could say unwrap. And that would make it less grumpy. And now that may work. We need to find out if it works. Let's first confirm that we don't see that when things are good. Now I think that'll be a whole different error. Yeah, that's in a different part of the world, so that's not relevant. So let's force that to happen by saying handle parse error link parse error boom, and it doesn't like that. Oh, actually, what are my pieces? So, oh yeah, so I'm gonna have all these different things I need. Let's do a parse int error. So page number parse error. Page number parse. Page num parse error. And then this is going to be a parse int error. Can we make one? Not really. So we maybe we just fake a parse error. Parse. Yeah. There we go. That's a good suggestion. Hello dot parse u32 dot unwrap error. Now that should then cause this to get called, and we're compiling, and then we should see the alert. Come on, you can do it. Go. And so yeah. There was an error contacting the GitHub server. Please try again. Close. And we got, there was an error parsing the HTTP response. Kind invalid digit. Oh, that's nice. So we got page num parse error, parse int error, kind invalid digit. So that's actually kind of useful as an error message. And then it blindly continued on because we didn't tell it to quit after that. So huzzah! I think that actually works. So if I get rid of that, and so handle parse error seems to do a useful thing. So let's commit that. So add parse error handling, the new handle parse error helper function, prints a error to the console and creates an alert telling the user that there was a problem contacting the GitHub server and asking them to retry. If this happens, then the state of the repository paginator component remains unchanged, which is, I think, a good thing. So, awesome. Now, I've got a couple of warnings that I should probably address from Clippy, because Clippy, so 3. An easy one to deal with, 292, is Clippy thinks we should have a semicolon here, which we should, because we're not actually returning a value. That makes sense. And these lines are really long. I'm going to actually break those up. Yeah, that makes me a little happier there. And in fact, I'm going to just amend that change right onto the previous commit. And then, so link parser is passed in but not consumed by the function body. So they're suggesting that this be a reference to the link error. And that seems reasonable to me. And I think I'm going to count that as an amend as well. Oh, go, stop. And then the last one is a little more interesting. Where did this go? Page 1. Here we go. So Clippy actually is grumpy that all of these end in the word error. And so I think it would just be to rename URL parse to actually, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm gonna actually pull up the recommended So the idea is that if we have an enum that is a cake, we just say Black Forest Hummingbird in Battenberg instead of Black Forest cake, because the cake is kind of implied here. And so we know we're in a link parse error, and so we would change this to be just like URL parsing, page entry missing, and page number parsing. Something like that. Okay, I'll buy that. Oh, invalid URL. I like that better. Good suggestion. Yeah. Invalid URL. And page entry missing seems plausible to to me. So I think we'll just get rid of the word error there. And page number parsing. So malformed page number, maybe? Or invalid. I guess we'll keep that. We'll stick with the invalid. So we've got the same syntax. And now that changed these guys. And let's save. See if this creates any compiler errors. Oh, go away. We seem to be all compiled. Yes. Confirm that things still work. And voila! Things seem to be good. Okay, that's awesome. And Clippy is now happy. So let's... And I do think those are better names. So that's actually, that was a nice move. Yeah, so these get created using from, and this one gets created directly. Because we don't get an error from somewhere for that one. Okay. So rename link parse error variance. Clippy was grumpy because all of our link parse error variance ended in error. In fixing this, we arguably improved the names of URL parse error and page num parse error to better indicate what the issue is. So I like that. Boom. Whew. Okay. Oh, and it's 11:58. I think we're going to call that a win. I keep thinking we will one day actually get to making the buttons do the right thing, because the buttons all still just show page 1, because we're ignoring the current page. Current page is always just 1. So the buttons aren't setting the state correctly on that. But I think we got all this error handling. Yeah, maybe 2025. I don't know. Maybe 2030. Never can tell. It's the challenge of actually learning stuff while you're programming. It's slow, but you folks have been awesome as always. I really have appreciated the feedback and the suggestions. There's been a lot of good stuff. And I think we've made a lot of progress. I've certainly learned a lot. And I think we improved the code in a variety of ways today. Hopefully, I think on Tuesday we ought to be able to get the buttons to work, because I don't think that's going to be very hard. Famous last words in programming. But I think getting the buttons to work won't be very difficult. And then we need to turn this into some other format that's got like checkboxes and stuff. And we will one day really one day, we will be sending requests to GitHub, the authenticated requests to GitHub that say, archive these repositories. And then it'll actually start to be an app that somebody might care about. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Things are improving. and I've certainly learned a lot of Rust. I might offline try to do some of the tidying up. In particular, I think this paginator component really has gotten quite long, and I think having my components move out into their own files wouldn't be a bad thing. And we probably don't want to take up time here with that because that's a pretty mechanical business. So I may do that rearranging offline between now and Tuesday. We'll see if I have the time, make the time to make that happen. But we are moving in a direction. I thank you all profoundly for your assistance. I might also look into this question of whether this should be a struct component and whether that would improve things. I might make a little test branch to check that out because it has gotten really long. But also I think if I just move this into its own file, then these functions come out of the component, I think, and probably become just standalone functions in the file, and that would be a win on its own, so that the component's not so huge. And there's clearly, this is really long, and I feel like maybe there's a function that ought to be there, especially since we're even creating a scope. Might as well create a function. So I'll poke at some stuff. But thank you all very much, and I will hopefully see you on Tuesday. Be 21, 2, 3, the 23rd. And we will do more of this, and it will be super exciting. And thank you, and best of luck. I will talk to everybody later. Bye.